I'm Mike Martin. I'm the Chief Lending Officer at Blue Federal Credit Union here, and was born in Laramie, Wyoming native, raised in Rawlins, which is about another 100 miles west of Laramie. Went back to school in Laramie for my undergraduate bachelor's degree, and then I've been in Cheyenne pretty much ever since, so almost 30 years. So I was the second child, my brother and I, with my mom, and then had a number of cousins. So I had cousins here in Cheyenne, cousins in Rawlins along with me, and so out of all that group, I was the second youngest. So I was the youngest in my family, but also almost the youngest of all these other cousins, and so drug around with them some and had a pretty good childhood. It was a small town. Got to ride bikes a lot and sled in the sun in the wintertime, and just a great place to grow up. The challenges my mom had, she was suffered with bipolar disorder, and so by the time I was in 5th grade, she was really having some huge struggles. And so, to be 12 years old and pretty much all the way through high school and into college, the role was flipped up quite a bit. I ended up taking care of her more than she ended up, being able to take care of me. And so having that, being put into that position, while it's extremely challenging and was awful at times, certainly, forced me to grow up just a bit faster, to understand that it's not what you want, but it's what somebody needs, and to be able to care, to take care of and to care for her certainly made my style early on be one that's different than I think it might have been had I not had to go through those challenges. Bachelor's degree in finance, so I like finance, economics, but funny story, I chose to stay on the finance side because at the time an economics degree was not part of the College of Business. It was part of the College of Arts and Sciences, and I didn't want to take a lab science. I just not that much into the sciences. Between my junior and senior year, I got an internship at a bank in Rawlins, which got me away from the golf course and digging ditches and mowing fairways and greens and stuff, and really came to like that. Did a project for them where, working with the Federal Reserve, they could turn in a number of stats, and it would kind of give an analysis of the costs of taking a deposit, making a loan, all those sorts of things. But I also got to be a teller, work in the trust area, look around in the loan area, and really was a great experience. So when I went back to school, I got done with that 4th year of college, and I wasn't quite ready to graduate, so they hired me back as a teller. Spent pretty much that whole summer after being a teller, and when I went back to finish school, Wyoming had not truly recovered from the hit that it took in the energy bust, and so jobs were a little bit hard to come by, and then since I had that experience in the banks world and enjoyed it, I went to work for a bank that is now U.S. Bank through some mergers and consolidations, but at the time it was called Rocky Mountain Bank.
Was it here?
Went through about a 2-year management training program where I worked in operations, audit, lending, branches, IT operations, and really built a good background of what it takes to truly operate a bank, and was on a commercial lending track with them. Stayed there for a while and then got recruited to go to work for American National Bank in Cheyenne. Been in banking, been in real estate. I do some real estate development on the side. Worked for the state of Wyoming doing workforce as well as the Wyoming Business Council, running grant and loan program administration for them for a number of years before I came back to the credit union. I've worked here twice.
Oh, yeah.
We look at not necessarily each loan by loan, but when they come up and they make a pool of loans, then there's risks management tools that work with the CFO and the finance team to make sure that we're protecting the credit union, because it's really mitigating risk in everything that we do. Every loan we make is a risk because we can make it to the best member, and they could, something bad could happen. They could go out and get run over, and all of a sudden our loan is at risk. So what do we do as an organization to have the best partners, make the best credit decisions that we can, keeping in mind that we are a cooperative and that the member the member's story and the member's life is more important than the credit score or the amount of income that they bring in a particular month. Gosh, it could be different every day, and get to see great people, whether they're members in the lobby or our team that is helping the member. It's exciting to come here. It's a great group of people. The folks I work alongside of on the executive team is wonderful, but when I get a chance and take that time to be able to go visit, the member solutions team, or I can visit the funders and the underwriters, or get down and see the processors or the mortgage loan officers. I just enjoy getting the time to chat with them and see how things are going, and rates are changing or the market conditions are different, and what's that mean, and how is it affecting them? Because my job more than anything is to try to create an environment where they can be successful and they want to come to work, and so I try to spend a lot of time doing that. Probably more than anything, I look up to my wife. We were both divorced and got remarried, and from a perspective of providing calm and peace to me, because I inherited some of the anxiety traits from my mother. I tend to get a little bit wound up, and so to have Kelly come into my life, with her daughters to raise with mine, I think it truly made me a better man. So if I have anybody I admire more than anybody, it would be her. She would say that I'm a pretty good guy. Let her sleep on my side of the bed to warm it up. I don't know why she doesn't do her mom's side. But it's the first dog I've ever had where I'm not the alpha. Kelly is the alpha for that dog, and I love the dog to death. It doesn't hurt my feelings. It's just interesting because I've always been the dog whisperer guy. But yeah, she thinks her pop's a pretty good guy.